Hello, welcome to Mana Tech Guru channel. And here in this second lecture, I would like to discuss some of the main tags, and I would like to discuss about the hyperlink tags and what is the use of images tags. And before that, I would like to tell you some of the tags, and I would like to add some color to my tags. Okay, here I'm adding heading one tag, and here I'm writing some comments. Hello, hi, and how are you? I'm writing how are you. And if I go back and if I run on live server, and you can see the text hello hi how are you, right? And if I want to add this text from black to red color, or if I want to add this text or green color, if user want to see this text in the red color, so then you have to use the style attribute here. I have to use the style attribute, and using the style attribute you can add the color based on your choice. So suppose let's say that I would like to see the text in blue color. So here I can add the blue color, and from that you can go back to your live server, and you can see that this text got converted from black color to the blue color. And as well as if you don't want to add the style attribute, you don't want to add the color to this, and if you don't want to add attribute here itself, and you can add by instead of the head section, and you have to include your style attribute, and instead of the style attribute, what is the heading name, and this heading name I have added this text within the heading one, right? And you have to call that within the heading one, and you have to write color, and you have to write let's say that I would like to convert it in a red color, that text. And you can go back and you can see that that color of the text is converted from black to red. Got it? And this is how we can convert the color of the text using the style attribute at the by using that style attribute at that particular tag, or else we can use the style attribute here, and we can call that particular heading, we can modify that color. And there are the two ways. This is the first one, and this is the second one. And the next thing is, let's say that suppose I have a one formula. I will take you to the page interface here. Let's say that I have some formula. I will write here. I would like to write one formula like this. I have a H2O formula. H base 2O formula. So let's say that I would like to write this kind of text, and my two e's should come below of my H, and the rest of the things should be displayed as well as like this. So to display that, so let's imagine I'm displaying normally this, and I'm writing H2O. And let's see that whether your text is printing at base level or not. You can see that my 2 is not getting in at base level. On those cases, you have to use that subscripts, sub and sub. So this H I'm leaving that as it is same, and here I'm adding sub, and here I'm closing that sub here itself after 2. So it means that this H will add at your prefix level, and these two will add at suffix level, and these four will remain same. And when I go back to the server, you can see that these two got added at the base level. And as it is, if you want to see the formula like this, and if you want to let's say that if you want to display the 3 square equal to 9. So for that also you can use the one tag called sup. So for that, let's say that I have to write here 3, and I have to write here sup here, and here also as well I have to write the sup here, and here equal to here I'm writing here equal to 9. Okay, and for that from that you can say that these two got added at the power level, and these 3 square equal to 9. So as it is, you can achieve if you want to add your text at power level or suffix level, base level, you can use that sub and sup tags here. And after that, in this class I would like to tell you about in this class, I would like to tell you about this is the text. Okay, just leave about this. And in this class, I would like to tell you about some of the hyperlinks. And I will take you to that daily document. And here, instead of the HTML document, I'm maintaining the daily track records. And in our last class, we have discussed the list concepts, and also as well as we have discussed about the tables concept as well. The remaining concepts that we left with forms and tags, and we'll discuss about these things. And here, before that, I would like to discuss one of the concept. And here, I would like to discuss with you anchor tags, anchor tags, okay, and images tags. Okay, and let's go back. We'll discuss about these two anchor tags and images tags here as well. And let's say that images tags is nothing but I will make it an example. And let's go to another some random website. I'm writing here Amazon. I'm searching here Amazon. And if you go inside of the Amazon website, and you have seen you can see that different kind of options here. So let's say that if I click on any one of those options, it will redirect to that particular page, right? So as it is, if you want to redirect from one page to another page, you have one tag called anchor tag. So you can come back here, and you can back to Visual Studio, and you can write here anchor HREF. So here you have to provide the URL here basically, and here I'm writing just I'm printing one comment. Click. I'm writing click here. Let's say that I will add here URL link of my Google, or I will add here Amazon website link. Let's say I'll go back here. I'll copy this Amazon website link. and I'll come back to Visual Studio and I'll paste over that URL over here. Okay, and from that, if I save this program and if I go back here, you can see that here you can see that one kind of text, right? So if I click on this, it is redirecting you that to that Amazon website page. Got it? So as it is, whatever the URL you will provide here within these double quotations, so it will redirect you to that particular page. Got it? And let's say that we have different kind of attribute for this anchor tag. Let's imagine, let's imagine I'm taking off this just a minute. So when I save this program, when I go back to this Amazon website, let's say that there is nothing else is there here, and let's imagine I'm running this program again on my live server, and you can see that you have a click here option. Okay, when I click on this option, it is redirecting you that to the Amazon website, right? So I don't want to open this Amazon website in the same tab. I want to open this Amazon website in the different tab. So by clicking on this option, so then you can provide here one attribute called target. So target, what will tell you here is for target you have four kind of properties. So blank, parent, self, top. So blank is nothing but so blank will which will help you to open that particular link in a new tab. So let's imagine I'm writing here blank, and when I go back to my server, when I click on this, it is helping you to open that website in a new tab. Got it? So when I put that instead of blank, when I put here self, you can see here it will open that particular website in the same tab itself. Got it? And as well as uh, these attributes, these blank and self attributes are we use the most, and parent and top we use for a specific purpose, and it will serve the same purpose. It's not make that much difference. Parent is nothing but it will open in a parent frame and the full body, and we use the most here blank and self. Got it? And here I am including blank to open my website in the new tab. And in hyperlinks we have two different categories. In hyperlinks, we have two different categories. The first one is I'm writing here a hyperlink anchor tag, anchor tags. So we categorize these two different kind of categories. The first one is absolute. We can provide here instead of we are providing some URL right here. So instead of URL, we have two. We can define this in two ways. So the first one is absolute path. Absolute path. So absolute path is nothing but where you are going, which is not from your local machine. It can might be from your internet, or it can be might be from your Google, or it can be anything, right? So you have a relative path. So let's say that if you want to open a particular document from your, or it can be a website, it can be your local machine server running application. You have to open your that particular image or link or anything based on your choice. If you want to open that particular image or website which is running from your local machine, you can use that relative path. Let's say that to make this an example, here I'm using that my relative path. I'll go back to my machine, local machine. I'll go back to file manager here. I'll go back to pictures, or I'll go back to downloads. I'll copy one of this image. I'll copy one of this image. I'll go back to HTML document, and this HTML document which is running by my Visual Studio Code, I'll copy the same picture over here. I'll paste it over here, and you can see here inside of my Visual Studio Code that picture got saved under my HTML document globally. So let's imagine when I click on this link, when I click on this, click here text, it should direct you to my page or image, my local machine image. Then you have to give here relative path of link. So let's say that I'm for the time being I'm removing this absolute path, and here I will put that my local machine path, which is called as a relative path. So here I'm copying this image path, and I'll paste it over here. Okay, and I'm saving this, and when I go back to my live server, you can see here when I click on this, it is redirecting to my image, my particular image. So from that we have a two different categories. From that you can get to know that we have a two different kind of categories, which is the absolute path and which is a relative path. So relative path which is directing to your local machine, and absolute path is nothing but which is not from your local machine, and it could be might be from browser, it might be from Google, or it can be anything. Okay, so we have two paths here. Now, so I have discussed with you target attribute as well. And let's say that the next thing is here, and not only click here, you can give any kind of text. You can give any kind of text. You can give any kind of text here, and that text will be reflected over here. Okay, and that's it. And we have images tags here. Images tags. So to print any image, to define any image, you have an image tag. Image, you have to write img. Img is a tag. So for img, you have a one attribute src. So instead of this src, you have to provide here that absolute URL or a relative URL based on your choice. So I'm closing this tag. So let's say that I'm going to Google, and I'm searching some random images. Okay, I'm going to images section part, and inside of this image section part, I'm copying some random image here. Let's say that I'm copying this image address. I'm copying this image address. I'll go back to Visual Studio Code. I'll paste that URL over here. Okay, and when I go back here to my live server, you can see that that image got printed at specifically at certain part. Let's say that I would like to increase the size and width of and size and the height and width of this image. So you have a different kind of attributes. Using style attribute can increase this size and height and width everything. So let's say that I would like to increase the size of this image. Let's say that I'm defining here style attribute. Instead of the style attribute, I would like to increase the height and width. So width I would like to increase it by 500 pixel. And what is the pixel? What is the mean of pixel? And I will tell you what is the pixel. And just use the some numerical values to increase the size. And in upcoming sessions, I will tell you what the pixel. And here height. Height. If you I'm giving the same pixel here. Okay. And when I go back to live server, you can see that this image size got increased. And based on your choice, you can increase its size and you can decrease its size. And here I'm increasing the width of my size like 700. And here you can see that my image got increased. My image of width is increased and my image of height is increased. And as well as there is an alternative way. Instead of giving like this, you can give in this way also. So just remove this style attribute and its properties. And if you don't want to provide like this, just write here width. Just write here width. Just write here width and just write here 700 pixel or 400 pixel. And after providing that, just write here height. After writing height, just write here 300 pixel. So by writing individually without specifying the style attribute, we can make the two modifications. So now you can see that my image got decreased from a certain width of size and certain width of height. Got it? And this is all about the image. Let's say that we have one special kind of attribute for the image. So in cases of if my image haven't printed on those cases. So let's say I'm removing one word from my image link. When I save this, my image won't print. So it is printing in blank. So you could see that in your real life applications when you are visiting some of the websites, some of the browsers. So you could see that some of the images is getting failed. So on those cases, it will print some of the text. So instead of giving you that image, it will get you that particular text. So let's say that it is that particular website is telling about the books and it is displaying the books items. And in some cases, if it is failed to display that kind of image, and it will help you to that give the text of that image and give the text of that book, right? So in such cases, you can print substitutionally text of that image. So in this case, my image got failed. So it could be a human error, it could be a link error, it could be a server error, anytime, anything it could be possible. So on those cases, but the substitution of my image, I can print the text of that image. So what it is going to convey that with the help of the text, the user is going to understand the image is going to display about this, right? So for that we have an attribute called alt. alt. So alt will help you to print the text. Okay, here I'm writing tiger. This is tiger image. Okay, and in such cases of failure of this image and with the substitution of that image, this text got printed. And when I go to live server, you can see that in such cases of image failures, you can see that text of that image which is describing about that image. So from that, if any user go to that particular website, if that image got failed, and he can understand by the text, by reading that text, he can completely understand what the image is going to tell about. Okay, and this is the purpose what we use alt attribute here. Okay, and the next thing is here I'm using width and height of my image. So instead of giving here, so you can see that if I provide the correct link of my image, and if I go back to live server, you can see that image. And at this time, I haven't see that alt text. This is the text. This image is about tiger image. It is not printing. In such cases of images failure, it will print the text. And if I don't provide the width and height here, you can describe here style tag by describing here the style tag, and you have an image tag, right? So you have to write here img, and instead of the img, you can provide the width and height for that. I'm writing here 300 pixel, and height is I'm writing 200 pixel. Okay, from that also, by using in such kind of way, you can modify your size of your image. So you can see that this size, the image got reduced from 400 pixel to 300 pixel. Let's say that I would like to increase the size. I can increase the size of from 500 I can increase the height from from 200 to 600. Now you can see the changes over here. So I hope you've seen this. So there is a two or three ways where you can resize your image, where you can change the color of your image. Got it? And this is how we can modify in number of ways. And I'm removing this image tag. I hope you understand what is the use of this image tag. I'm removing this all. I'm removing this all. Let's say that you have one para here. You have a heading two, and instead of heading two, you have hello text, and you have one para over here. Let's say that I'm putting some default para. Okay, and this is my para. And when I go back here, and you can see that hello text and para text. Let's say that I would like to add some color. I would like to add some color to the para. I can add the color here by using the style attribute, and you can add the color for that using. I would like to bring it in aqua color. I can bring it. So you can go back to live server. You can see the text of this color. It is converted from black color to aqua color. So let's imagine I don't want to add the color at this time. I would like to add background images. So for that, for this at the background of this the background of this para, I would like to add some background image. For that, you have to use again style attribute, and again you have to use background image. And here you have to write URI, and instead of this URI, you have to use specific image. Okay, here I'm giving this path, or you can give absolute path or relative path based on your choice. Here I'm providing that my relative path of my image, and I'm providing over here, or else you can collect it from my your Google or your Microsoft browser, and you can provide the link over here. Okay, and you can go back and you can see that text is this para is printing, and that image is getting at background level of your para. Okay, as it is, you can convert and you can bring the images at the background level based on your choice. And this is the attribute. And this is another way. This is another way. You can use your style. You can use a style tag. Within the style tag, you can convert. You can bring that same kind of image at the background level by applying that style tag here by calling that para tag and opening the body, and you can call the same. And this is the homework for you. And the next thing is, so let's say that I have a para here. So if I provide the spaces, and if I provide the spaces every time, and next line every time, you won't see the changes here. Okay, it is printing in the same line. Here we haven't getting we are not getting any next line spaces and everything. So let's say that when I give your next line spaces or some spaces, it should reflect to my para also. On those cases, you have to use pre tag. So pre is nothing but which will consider the next line and spaces also. You can see that. So wherever I have given the next line spaces, the next line spaces is also considering by my pre tag. You can see this. Got it? And this is how the use of pre tag and uh, para tag will be helpful to you. Got it? And next thing is we have called we have one thing called in our task we have discussed about anchor tags and images tags completely over here, and we have that semantic tags and non-semantic tags. And semantic tags is nothing but we have some header sections. Let's make it an example. I'll take you to that one website here. I'll take you to that one website. Let's say that I'm searching Amazon website. So when I search the Amazon website, you could see that all the products over here and some of the prices and prices, deals and prices discounts you could see here. And when I scroll down, you could see some footer level footer level section. And what is the footer level section means? These navy blue color is highlighted. No, this navy blue color highlighted part is footer section. And in this footer section, you will display that copyrights reserved, and you will display that your social media logos, your social media links, and another services links. You will provide everything over here, and this is called as a footer section. And this is called as the products and whatever you could see here. Those things are called as a main section, and this thing is called as a whatever the logo you can see search bar, and you could see that cart and everything, right? And these all comes under the header section, and you could see that number of options available over here. That options comes under the nav tab. Got it? And when I go here, when I write something here, header header, here I'm writing heading 1, hello, and I'm writing main, and again I'm repeating the same tag, so it's 2 tag. I'm writing here hello, hi, and again I'm defining here footer section. So from this footer section, I'm adding some para, lorem. So if I go back to live server, you could see that hello, hi, and how are you. So by saying this hello text, by saying this hello, hi text, and by saying this para, it not makes that much difference. So we cannot imagine, we cannot assume this as a header and footer and these things. But internally, this hello is under header, this hello, hi is under main, and this para is under footer. So I'll inspect this one. Could see that. So this header is occupying entire width of your screen, and this main is comes under this main is also occupying entire width internally, and this footer is also occupying entire width. So by seeing like this, we cannot user cannot understand it is header, it is a main section, it is a para section, those things. So by telling you that inline blocks and the block level elements, I will tell you how can we design this, and for that, that's it. And the next thing is we have one thing called semantic and non-semantic. Semantic is nothing but which will help the some of the browsers, some of the search engines, uh, some of the developers. It will help you to display the content very clearly, which will help the search engines and developers. And non-semantic tags is nothing but which we use this kind of tags for styling purpose, for designing purpose. And the main important here is we have one thing called inline inline elements and block elements. Okay, I'll discuss about these inline elements and block elements. So inline elements is nothing but which will occupy the width of that size based on as far as possible. It will occupy that much size. Block elements is nothing but it will occupy the complete size. So under block level size of elements, you can make it an example like let's say that we have block elements we have here block elements. Para is a block element which will occupy entire width of your size internally, and also we have that heading tags. Okay, and we have that div div tags. I'll tell you what is the use of div tag. No need to worry about that. Okay, and we have that section tag and so on. Okay, and let's say that here we have for the time being here we have header and footer and everything, and I'll remove everything here, and just I'm defining here one heading. Instead of heading, I'm writing some text here, hello, and below this heading I'm writing here para. I'm importing random packet random para here, and here when I go back to live server, here you have heading here you have para, right? So let's imagine I'm cutting off this para to half of the part to make you understand. Okay, we have some of this para. Go back to live server and let me inspect this. So when you open a body here, when I point to this H1 heading, so internally it is occupying entire width of your web browser. So when I display the another content, when I try to display the another content after this, it won't display. It will try to display in the next line because of it is internally occupying entire width of your size. You could see here, and after that, and para also is occupying entire width of your size, and this is called as a block elements. And also we have one more element called div tab, and this will also will occupy entire width of your size. And let's say that I have one div section. I'm declaring this within div section. I'll tell you what is the purpose of div section in the next lecture, and no need to worry about that. Let's say that I'm defining this div. I'm defining this div section. Within this div section, you have a h1 heading and you have para. So div section is nothing but it's just like a container. Instead of container, you are writing h1 hello and para, right? So let me save this. Let me go back to the live server. You can see here, and this time you can see here when I do refresh, when I inspect the same thing, when I inspect the same thing. So this under this div section, when I point to body and when I point to this div section, you could see that under my div section, my hello and para got occupied because of div is like a container where you can store headings and paras and images, whatever you need. Got it? And this is how we implement. When I point to H1 heading, it will point to specific thing. And when I point to para, it will point to specific thing. When I point to div section, you could see that it is occupying entire width of your size internally. So when I try to print the next content after this, it won't print. It will print in the next line. And this is all about block elements. And we have inline elements. We have inline elements. Here we have inline elements. So inline elements are nothing but which will occupy the size as per the needed. Here for inline elements we have anchor tags, and we have that anchor tags. We have that span. span tag, and let me implement the anchor tag over here. We could able to understand here. I'm implementing here anchor tag href, and here I'm closing this tag, and I'm writing here click here, and I'm providing here local path relative path over here to my local machine. And when I implement this, when I go to live server, when I try to inspect that, when I inspect that, so you could see that it is occupying this this tag is occupying that much size of width. How much it is needed, that much is occupying. It is not occupying entire width of your C internally. So when I try to print one of the content or some of the content, it will print after this. So let's say that if I want to print some of the content, like I'm printing H2 heading here, I'm printing like hi. So it will print after this image, after this link. So when I go back to live server, you could see that hi got okay, it is occupying the entire width, right? So let's say that I'm defining one more hyperlink tag over here, click here. I'm writing here about. So go back to live server. You could see that click here about got printed, got displayed thereafter there, right? When I try to inspect there, when I pointed over to that hyperlink, it is offering that much side of it, and after that I have some space, and it is setting over that after that that about link and that about link related link is setting over there because of it is we have some space over there, and that by default it is offering that much of size, and this is all about inline elements. Inline elements. And here also we have some span. Span is nothing but we use span to design specific things. Let's say that I'm removing this, and here for this text only for this specific text, I would like to highlight this with the blue color, and only for the specific text I would like to highlight this I would like to highlight this with the red color. So for that we have to use span. We have to enclose this text with the tag, span tag, and bring this ipsum over here. Okay, and same thing. I would like to highlight this amnet with the red color and enclose with that amnet the spam tag. Got it? And when I go back, you won't see that much difference over there. It is printing as same as in the as same as the different text got printed. So when I go back, I would like to highlight this with the blue color. Just add your style attribute and add your color attribute, and just I would like to print this in a blue color. Just highlight with this blue, and here also add a style attribute, include a style attribute simply, and just add your color, and I would like to highlight this with the brown or red color. I'm highlighting with the brown color. So just go back and you can see that this particular text got highlighted with the blue and this text got highlighted with the red color. Got it? And this is how we can use the spam for the specific purpose and for the specific highlighting purpose, designing purpose. And when I try to inspect that, when I try to inspect the spam, when I try to inspect the spam, you could see that it is occupying that much of size. It is not occupying entire width of your web browser. Thus, how much the viewport, how much the entire screen it is there, it is not occupying. It is occupying the size, how much it is required, that much it is occupying itself. And you can see this also, it is occupying that much itself. So these elements we usually or we call as inline elements, which won't occupy entire width. In the upcoming session, in the next lecture, I will discuss about you what's the forms and how can we add the how can we design the forms and what is the drop down options we have are available, and how can we upload the image, how can we upload the audio, how can we upload the video. These things I will discuss in the next lecture. And thank you for listening patiently. And just do subscribe Manatech Guru.